My name is Special Agent Chris Harper. Today's date is March 21st, 2019. It's approximately 1:26 p.m. The following are consensual recordings made by Scott Wilson and Ben Holmes to capture conversations with Michael Avenatti and Mark Geragos.
And you have him on board 2 local people in Los Angeles. They work real fast and great providers in the local area on board. Then you got to be a digital marketing expert. Help us. We got to get a brand. We got to understand what brand they want.
That's very, I don't see some apartment there.
How they want to handle. Well, the only question is, are we really, if I'm in, and I see that you're already
running around on stuff.
It needs a warm up.
Oh, thank you.
I work with Mark. Stop. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. It's a uniclosed structure. Thank you.
So she's going to be all right?
She's going to be fine.
That's good.
It's one of these pot of boiling water on the stove, kids underfoot. I'm going to drink that.
I'm not going to move this over here.
Right onto her. It was awful.
How long ago did that?
Who wants about a week? About a week. I'm not going to carry it. Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Great. Thanks. You and I do captain.
They had these big, they look like mouse pads. So they're silver bandage or they're silver infused or something. They're big, they're like the thickness of a mouse pad. And they put it on, and the only downside is you can't bathe for a week, because I guess you're not supposed to get them wet. And we were a little intimidated by what would be underneath when it came off, but it was really quite shocking how well this worked. So today was they come off. So it's good news, and thank you for accommodating schedules this morning. So, you've been in New York? I didn't know if Mark would fly back from the tropical paradise he was describing when we talked on the phone yesterday.
How much space do you guys have? How long have you been over at Hudson?
Weeks, a matter of weeks. So we've been at the same intersection of 51st and Lexington for years, which is very dull. We took space very early in Hudson Yards, and we have 3 full floors of attorneys, half a floor that is more administrative staff, and I think we have some expansion options down the road. So,
Yeah, that's not a great development. I think that's the place to be.
it seems that way. We have some.
CNN's moving over there, you know?
Really? Yeah.
They're vacating. It's the same developer that
Time Warner, yes, it's related. It's related. That's right. We're doing something novel and radical, which is the partners have glass-fronted offices that are around the core, so to speak, and then the associates and counsel are at open plan seating, not quite like a trading floor, they're more like pods.
Really?
And then we have a profusion of very interesting little breakout spaces, so you can go cloister yourself in a room that's just a call booth, or we have reading rooms, and having practiced in East Midtown for a number of years, it's a nice shot in the arm to be someplace in there.
Cool.
Well, you'll see on Monday.
Yeah, no, I'm anxious to check it out. I'm anxious to see the space.
Where are you? Are you in Newport Beach?
No, I'm in West LA, Century City.
Oh, for some reason I thought you were in the OC.
I was for a while, and now we're in West
Okay.
LA. Just more conducive.
I see we get casual Mark today.
Very. Should have seen it yesterday. I was decked out. I was also kind of a blue look.
It's my color.
Blue's your color?
You came back from Miami for me. That is, this time of year, that's a true.
I
That's a
was
true
thinking that this morning as I had the umbrella and I was walking to Equinox. I can't believe I came back for him and left Miami, which was gorgeous.
Oh gosh. Where do you stay?
A place called the East, which I liked at the city center.
They did a great job, bro. It's right there. I
Yeah.
usually stay at that SLS Lux.
Right, which is right across. But that city center is nice. I've got a client who's got a retail presence there, so I went and I looked at her store and I was telling her the same thing. I could live.
You know, Casa Tua, the restaurant at the beach,
Yeah.
they just built that like Little Italy market in that city center. It's fabulous.
I ate there yesterday.
That place is great.
spectacular.
They've done a great job with that downtown. I mean,
I know.
downtown Miami has exploded.
I know. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I had dinner at the in the Hudson Yards Mall last night. I was shocked how busy it was. It's been open for a week.
What's it called?
Just the shops.
The shops?
Yeah,
Was
all
it
the
busy?
shops. Busy, really. A lot of foot
I heard they
traffic.
had 17,000 people for the grand opening.
Well,
How many feet did you
looking like
guys
a very-
take?
I was just telling Michael, I'm not good with footage, but we have 3 full floors of 55, half of a 4th floor on which we have administrative offices, and I think we have options to expand, maybe at the 5-year, the 10-year point. So we have some room to grow even.
How many lawyers do you have in New York?
About 80,
80?
I think, 80, 90, something like that. It fluctuates.
You know, John expanded QE all on the back of the New York office. I mean, you know, I mean, obviously the start is an LA firm, but all of their growth was New York and then Silicon Valley.
We're growing in California. We're definitely growing in California. And then we
You
had
took what, 20 lawyers out of Caldwell?
we took the whole firm. I mean, a few people maybe didn't come, but essentially the whole firm merged with our firm. And then there've been some hires additional to that since then.
Who runs your place now? Who's the managing partner?
We have a management committee.
Yeah.
It switched from the named partners to a management committee of 4 folks. David and Jonathan are still managing partners. Don is a retired managing partner. But so it's a management committee with input from David and Jonathan. So
Any
changing of the guard.
Any update since we spoke yesterday evening?
No. They're just that the client knows that I'm here to receive, the demand.
Okay. So we'll start at the easiest part. This is a draft
Okay.
general release and settlement agreement.
Okay.
You can take that with you.
Okay.
Let us know if you have changes. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
If you need additional release language or confidentiality language related to other terms, no problem, but we're not going to negotiate the amount or the date.
Date of payment. Okay.
So-
But jams, things like that. I can have
Yeah.
I can have opinions on.
What's that?
I can have opinions
If you want
on.
to make it jams New York, fine. I don't think it serves anybody to pick a non-arbitration option.
Okay.
And again, if we're arguing over this agreement, ultimately, we got a much bigger problems than.
Yeah. Look, I don't think that the $1.5 million to settle the civil claims will be the sticking point. I think the sticking
No.
point will be.
That's why I said we'll start
We
with the easy one.
said that, we thought that would be easy.
But I wanted to give you something at least as a starting place. And,
Yep.
I mean, I think that this is probably, you'll see the release language could not be more broad. If you want to add other specified release parties, that's fine too.
Yeah.
By name, subsidiaries,
Right.
Nike Elite Youth Basketball or something like that, no
Right.
problem. But I figured that it should be, we should at least have a starting place.
Okay. Thank you.
So, and I don't know if Nike USA Inc. is the right entity, or if you want
It's
to.
probably Nike Inc.
That's what I thought, but
Yeah. Okay.
whatever
Okay.
you want to comment on, or you want to get back to me and want to talk about, but I mean, that should be pretty straightforward.
Okay. Understood.
So here's the ask on the internal investigation. First of all, we want to report directly to the gentleman we met with you,
Rob. Okay.
or the general counsel or above.
Sure. Okay.
Okay? Hopefully that's not going to be controversial. 2, our retention shall remain confidential, entirely confidential, and will only be disclosed on a need-to-know basis by the company, with the understanding that obviously over the course of us conducting an internal investigation, we're going to have to disclose that we're working for Nike.
Okay.
But we're not going to be issuing any press releases or responding to any press inquiries or leaking anything to the press or anything of that nature whatsoever.
Okay.
None of that happens unless we're directed to do so by Nike.
Okay.
Because Nike's required.
Good.
Okay? Again, I don't think that's controversial. $12 million retainer upon signing, evergreen. That's going to be deemed earned when paid. We'll cap it at $25 million, minimum of $15 million, unless the scope changes.
Okay. Changes from what?
Changes from the original scope that we agreed to, which, I mean, I think that we all understand what we agreed to.
Okay.
Which are payments made to players in order to route them to various colleges or shoe contracts prior to them being eligible to receive any such payments.
Okay.
Blended hourly rate of $9.50 an hour for attorneys, $450 an hour for paralegal time, etc., plus out-of-pocket expenses.
Okay. I have a few questions, but I want to hear you out. Anything else?
That's
So what's the additional documentation that you anticipate? Beyond this settlement agreement is just what it is as to Mr. Franklin's civil claims.
a confidential retainer agreement.
Okay, with who would be the counterparty? Would it be,
We have to figure that out.
would it be your firm? Would it be Mark's
It's either
firm?
my firm or Mark's firm or a new entity that we may form, or we would figure something out.
Okay, but we'll have one.
Correct, it would just be one
There's only going to
entity.
be one entity. You're not going to have, because there's no need for that, it's messy.
Okay. Who would be doing the work?
Mark, me, our staffs.
Okay.
I anticipate that there would be a contract for, subcontract for PIs and things of that nature.
Okay.
You'd need people who are on the ground to do interviews and things of that nature, along with as witnesses.
To be chosen when?
What do you mean? We would adequately staff the engagement, make sure it's done correctly, whether it be through attorneys or PIs or others. There's not a subcontract. We will retain individuals to conduct the investigation beyond what we already have, as needed.
Understand. And Michael, what you just said may have superseded what you mentioned last time, but you said something about a multiplier. I wanted to understand what you meant by that.
Oh, that was your penalty clause, favorations.
We basically.
We're beyond that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Provided these terms are acceptable. If these terms aren't acceptable, then we're going to go back.
Okay. So
What it does is it ensures, I mean, from Nike's standpoint, look, I was explaining to Michael beforehand, it does not surprise me this latest admissions scandal at USC. Why doesn't that surprise me? 3 times I've been down the road with USC in the last 10 years for scandals. Every time USC hires the same law firm who will remain nameless, who does a quote-unquote investigation. That quote-unquote investigation is nothing but a whitewash and doesn't get to the bottom of what the root systemic problems are. So this kind of ensures that we'll get to the bottom of it, it's not going to happen again. So,
And ultimately, it's going to be up to the client as to whether they want to self-disclose or when they want to do it or anything else, just like any other client. I mean,
but
that's
we'll get to the bottom
Okay.
of whether or
Those
not.
aren't our decisions to make. Our decisions are to investigate this, report back to Nike, and then Nike makes a decision on what they want to do.
Right.
Presumably with consultation with you and others.
So I think I know the answer to this. So please.
Okay.
Let me.
No.
Let me include that preface. As I said before, I don't think that the settlement of Mr. Franklin's civil claims for $1.5 million is going to be the stumbling block here. Is there a way to avoid your press conference without hiring you and Mark to do an internal investigation?
I'm not gonna answer that question.
Okay.
It's kind of a strange question.
Can we settle this under, could we do this all under the civil settlement agreement? That's what I'm asking. Can we, even if
Without doing any
if the money went higher, could we do it all under the civil settlement agreement?
Perhaps, but why would you want to do that? I think,
So tell me what,
so I'm gonna put my Nike hat on. Okay, just for the sake of argument, I'm gonna put my Nike hat on.
it's got a swoosh and everything.
Right, it's gonna have the little.
Go on.
Oh, wait, I put on my Nike hat. I know why that question's being asked. Could I be so bold? You don't have to answer this question. They want to get rid of this in one fell swoop or swoosh and not have it hanging over their head, so to
Well,
speak.
they're gonna have to do an internal investigation anyway, but let me just say this, okay? I don't think that it makes any sense for Nike to be paying, an exorbitant sum of money to Mr. Franklin in light of his role in this.
Okay.
I mean, imagine that.
Here's what I'm struggling with. As I've said to you, I have clients to convince. And normally when we are confronted with the threat of civil claims, it is resolved with the suit is filed or there's a civil settlement. And what I tell the non-business people at the top of the heap, why is it that we have to both do a civil settlement and hire plaintiff's counsel and his colleague or associate or friend to do legal work for the company?
Well, it's not so
That's
much
not
legal
something.
work
That's
as-
not something we've ever seen before.
Right, well, only because there is.
Well, I was gonna say, with claims this explosive, I've never sat down with a defendant before. I usually just go directly to the New York Times down at a press conference.
But I'm saying help me. I'll think of my own ideas, but what is my talking point? What is the answer to my, how do I
The answer to that
convince?
is that, I think.
Can you give us 1 minute?
Sure.
Do you guys want anything else to drink?
No, I'm good. I'll carry on.
see that for a minute.
Sure.
So help me better understand, is there an appetite to just be done? Is that the thought?
Yeah. I mean, look, we know each other, what, 2 days? I appreciate you saying there would be no press conferences during the course of your internal investigation, but, you know, you'd be all up in the business of the company for years. Look, let me be more concrete. I have not done a $25 million internal investigation for Nike. We've not done one for Nike that breaks $10 million. We've done internal investigations for them that are a lot less than that. I am struggling with how to sell to my client something that is outside of a civil settlement, but is instead a separate hiring of attorneys they don't know to conduct an internal investigation, which is a very sensitive thing.
Well,
and I'm not sure your press.
First of all, they do know me. Second of all, I've dealt with them in sensitive situations, which is why I picked up the phone and called. In situations where they did not want a certain story to be told. At the same time, and that's why I was given the USC example, at the same time there is something to be said for the fact that one of the reasons we're on the plaintiff side, besides cashing checks, is we like to also affect change, just like Nike does. And if there's something that's going on there and it's more widespread than we even suspect, it would be a good idea, I think, to root it out and fix it, don't you think? I mean, just conceptually. And so the idea of, and by the way,
Look, I know for a fact that these aren't the only payments, and I know for a fact that the payments didn't only go through California Supreme.
I've never gotten a $12 million retainer from this client.
yeah, but you're firm.
Guess what, if you ever
I know
had
how
the
much.
balls with a client in your hand where you could take $5-6 billion of market cap off of, this is gonna be a major fucking scandal. You said yourself that you're surprised Adidas wasn't indicted. I'm gonna tell you, if we don't figure this out, from moment one, I'm gonna be asking why Nike hasn't been indicted.
Well,
I'm gonna bring the power of my platform to bear to expose what the fuck is going on here appropriately. If we can't reach a settlement in connection with this, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Nike has their platform, I have my platform.
Okay.
So look, I mean, it doesn't, you know, is it a lot of money? Sure. Is it a lot of money in the grand scheme of things? No.
I've seen some press conferences in my day. I've seen some of your press conferences. I'm not sure I've seen a $25 million press conference.
Okay, let me just explain something to you. This is not going to be a single press conference. Okay.
Are they a million apiece?
No, this is going to be a scandal. It's going to be the biggest scandal in sports in a long time. That's what this is going to be. This is going to be
Okay. Is there room to negotiate on the specific millions we're talking about?
on what?
On the dollar figures that you put on category 2?
So look, I'll say this. If your client wants to have one confidential settlement agreement and we're done, they can buy that for $22.5 million. And we're done.
That's helpful.
Fully confidential. We can leave it to Nike and its other lawyers to figure out what to do with this and handle it appropriately. And full confidentiality, we ride off into the sunset. If you need assistance from us as it relates to Mr. Franklin, we'd be happy to provide that. Obviously, we're not going to do anything illegal, or he's not going to do anything illegal. And we can be done. And then they can hire Boies or whoever else they want to hire to do whatever they want to do, and you guys can figure out what you want to do. Okay, if that is a more palatable option, right? Now, I mean, I think there's positives and negatives to that, but I'm not calling the shots at Nike.
Okay.
But let me, I just want to share with you what's going to happen if we don't reach a resolution.
I'm sure I'm going to enjoy hearing this.
No, this is not me pounding my chest or any of that shit. I'm just going to,
Okay.
I'm going to have a very real discussion with you because this is what happens every time, okay? As soon as this becomes public, I'm going to receive calls from all over the country, from parents and coaches and friends and all kinds of people, because this is always what happens. And they're all going to say, I've got an email or a text message or, now, 90% of that's going to be bullshit. Because it's always bullshit, 90%. Always, whether it's R. Kelly or Trump or the list goes on and on. But 10% of it is actually going to be true. And then what's going to happen is this will snowball. And then it'll be 5 players, and then it'll be 9, and then it'll be 15, and then it'll be 25, and it's going to snowball. And every time we get more information, that's going to be the Washington Post, the New York Times, ESPN, a press conference. And the company will die, not die, but they're going to incur cut after cut after cut after cut. And that's what's going to happen as soon as this thing becomes public. So it is in the company's best interest to avoid this becoming public and to deal with this in an organized, legal manner where the company self-reports in some way, shape, or form. They're going to have to self-report, in my view. Now again, that's not ultimately up to me. And we haven't even, we touched on it briefly. I don't know what they did relating to responding to that subpoena. I don't know the scope of that subpoena. But, I mean, that could be a major fucking problem.
So, we have your demand. I thank you for spelling it out. That gives us something to
I mean, is there an appetite to just be done, or I'm just trying to...
There's an appetite to just be done. But I understand the two scenarios. There's the 1.5 plus the internal investigation and the parameters you described, or 22 in the...
And a half.
It's gone up in
No,
the
it's
past
22 and a half. It was over 22. There's something magical about that.
22 and a half, Michael. All right. Okay. Let me get working. When can we reconvene? Monday morning, Monday afternoon?
Monday at noon.
11?
If I've got to be in court at 9, I'll be back up here. Can we just do noon? Are you okay with that?
That's fine.
Yeah, Monday at noon.
So look, and this is
No,
not...
we said my offices.
That's right. This is not this is not a shot at you in the situation with your wife, which I fully understand. But let me just explain something so that there are no misunderstandings.
All right.
If this is not papered on Monday, we're done.
Okay.
I don't want to hear about somebody on a bike trip. I don't want to hear that somebody has, somebody's grandmother passed away or something. Look, the dog ate my homework. I don't want to hear, none of it is going to go anywhere. Unless somebody was killed in a plane crash. It's going to go zero, no place with me.
Okay.
So I have, against my better judgment, I have parked this thing to try to give peace a chance. Okay?
Yeah.
Recognizing the difficulties that you guys have had. And by the way, I've assumed that for the sake of our discussion here today, that all of the parameters are 408 and confidentiality and everything from before that carried over.
We can stick with 408.
Right. Strictly confidential.
408.
What's the difference between 408 and strictly confidential?
What do you mean by strictly confidential?
Well, see, that causes me a little concern. What is the issue relating to the difference between strictly confidential and 408?
Michael, I don't want you to have a press conference. I have to be able to talk to the CEO, general counsel,
of course,
potentially disclosure counsel, you know.
Well, there's no disclosure of this meeting to disclosure counsel.
I mean SEC disclosure counsel. If
No.
you're threatening a giant press conference. If something happens and there's an effect on the stock price, you don't think that I would need to, again, all under the company's privilege?
Correct. If it's broad enough to come under a mediation, a 408, a confidentiality.
This meeting is under, I've assumed all our conversations since we sat down were 408, and believe you me, I intend to keep this confidential.
Okay.
Well, do you think that if I had a press conference, I could recount what happened in this meeting?
Do I think you will or you
No,
won't?
no, is it your understanding that the parties have the ability to do that? Because that was not my understanding, but if we'd like to have a different understanding, we can reach it.
Look, I'll be totally candid. If you have a press conference, I'll be watching very closely for what you say, and I preserve my right to take the position that you've waived, because you've said things that I think violate the confidentiality of these discussions. If you go in and say Nike was willing to, pay whatever, which I would think would violate our agreement,
I
then
never said it.
I don't know what you're going to do,
No,
Michael.
no,
We've known
no.
each other. We've known each other for 2
I
days.
understand that, but I would.
You might say that in order to make it seem very real, to say make it seem very big. And
No,
so,
I would, just so you know, it would not be my intention to do that. That's
Okay.
not, that would be a violation of the spirit of what we're trying to do here, regardless, even if we're not able to reach a deal. That is not my
okay,
intention.
it's not my intention.
So it's not my intention to disclose that we met, what we talked about. I mean, we've
Good.
had a very candid.
Yes, nor is it mine.
Okay, all right, so then we're square on that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if
We're on the same page.
if we are not able to resolve this, as far as I'm concerned, we go status quo ante to before we sat down.
Yes. How, the client will ask me this, you can answer or you cannot answer. If we're not able to resolve it on Monday morning, how quickly will you go to the press?
I'm not going to answer that question.
You gotta ask some things. Okay. I will come with authority on Monday.
Okay.
I've got your ask. Thank you for the courtesy, personally and professionally.
Your wife okay?
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah. How long have you been married?
Amazing medicine. It's bad that it takes me a minute to figure the answer to that question out, isn't it? Since 2007.
Wow. Okay. What's the longest you've ever been married?
13 years.
13?
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Fuck you.
May I have my draft? Bring back?
I'm gonna hold on to this in light of the discussion about the.
Fair enough.
All right. But let me just say this: if there's something that you
Yeah,
if you want to bring your own version, or if there is language, specific release language,
well, as Mark, for example, as Mark will know from his dealings with the company, this may be the least important thing we discuss, but Oregon law is virtually all they'll ever put in any of their contracts.
Okay.
So, things like that. I believe Mr. Franklin's contract, or rather Cal Springs' contract, is in fact Oregon law.
That's fine. Yeah.
So there may be
I'm not.
things like that.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I didn't see an exception in the COMFI for, accountants, audit committee.
No, it's there. You mean,
Oh, okay, then I just didn't know.
The disclosure?
Yeah, the company will need to, if the company makes multi-million-dollar payments, the auditors will need to be able to.
You know what, here, I'll tell you what. So you have something to take with you?
Yeah.
I will make a revision to this. And
Okay.
then we'll print you two copies, print you a copy. and-
Okay, that's fine.
Kaylee, can you go in and attend to my little faculty?
Mark, do you need something? Right there. Can you put it on here? You want it in?
long have you been at Boies?
Year and a half.
Did you clerk before that, or were you at another firm?
I was straight through law school.
Where'd you go?
NYU.
Grade school. Did you summer at Boies?
I did.
See, we aren't so bad, we got them back. It's a good place to be.
It's a good place.
Michael, do you have a place here in the city, or you stay out of town?
I have a place off 25th.
Oh, cool. How many lawyers do you have in Century City?
9 right now. And then we have 4 out here.
Oh.
Where's your LA office?
Oh, gosh.
Are you out that much?
I am, but I'm bad with, it's downtown. It's, there's that brand new, it's an Intercontinental.
Yeah.
It's really high, it has like a sky lobby.
Is it in that building?
No, it is the immediately adjacent tower.
Because that's right across the street from Lawrence.
Oh, really? Yeah, so, oh.
That's literally right across the
Mark
street.
might be in the same building as our old Carlton Leslie.
No, he owns
No. Ah, no. Well, it's a high rise, whatever it is. We also have a beachhead in Santa Monica, which we had that for a long time, and it's always only been a few lawyers.
Is there anything you know right now?
Anything what? Beachhead in Santa Monica. I've done some litigation in California, and the thing that I find unnerving about it, all state, is the practice of tentatives. Absolutely. Maybe just when you're an East Coast lawyer and you fly out for a moral argument, and then you land, and then you get in your inbox the judge's ruling, and you have two options. You go.
You don't like it?
You go to tell You go to tell them why they're wrong. Like you're only showing up, as far as I can tell.
Right.
Tell them they've made a mistake, or they're just wrong, or you get back on the plain east. That was an unnerving feature of California state practice. The other thing I found funny, I was litigating in Santa Ana Superior Court in Orange County, and opposing counsel was from LA. And one always worries about, I'm not from California, you always worry
That
about.
might as well be 2 different states, my friend.
That's what I learned. I don't think that the big city LA lawyer was.
Well, it's always, Orange County has always kind of been a wild west to a certain degree. Politically, it's a dichotomy between Orange County.
So I felt
There
very.
was nothing else.
Didn't it say it? Did you print it?
It didn't go on the, didn't pop up.
What?
It didn't go, it didn't load on the.
You want to just do it from here?
Yeah, just email it, I guess, to the email or anything.
What I like best about LA are the restaurants. The Jonathan Gold devotee, Gala Getza for Oaxacan. I think you can eat better in LA than anywhere else.
No, not better than New York.
Maybe not on the high end, but I think there are many more interesting options. And frankly, high-end sushi, the sushi is better in LA.
You got that? Sushi better than LA.
Yeah. Do you want names and addresses? Michael, do you have a plane? I think of plaintiff's attorneys as having planes.
I have an interest in it. Mark's got 2 points.
I wonder how it got back so quick.
Your client's got to have some plans.
meetings, they should fly you around. Why, we should have set this meeting in Sydney, Australia.
Are you sending it to Tina or are you going to put it on the USB?
I'm gonna put it on this USB. The prior version was on there.
Right.
Actually, on.
Kaylee, have you worked here long?
Well, I worked for a year for Mark in between college, and then I went to law school.
Oh.
And then I interned, I guess, for him like one summer when I was in law school, and then I came back in October.
Very good.
And I just took the New York bar and waiting on my results. So we'll see what happens.
Not worried.
How long have you been doing something like that?
About 5 years.
5 years?
I was in the government until from 2011 to 2013. I rejoined the firm,
SDNYLIVE?
no, the New York Attorney General's office, and I rejoined the firm in 2013. So I do miss government work. It's fun to have subpoena power. It's I suppose as a plaintiff's lawyer, building a case pre-complaint is more difficult, simply as a plaintiff's lawyer, than it is when you can do some pre-complaint discovery through all the tools the government has. So it was a great experience, and I miss it. But some trials, it's as I tell anyone who will listen, one of the best ways to get trial experience is in government.
Oh, no question.
So,
Well, especially now.
yeah.
It doesn't sound like it was 20 or 30 years ago, the number of trials are far fewer.
I also think that there was so I'm told, I don't want to pretend I was trying cases 20 years ago, that there was a time when a large corporate client, might engage a law firm as basically its law firm. And that law firm would handle M&A, and it would handle major corporate litigation, and it would handle slip and falls, all the way up and
Right,
down.
one-stop shop.
And those slip and falls or what have you.
It's only showing the older version. You want to just email it to me and I'll print it from here.
What are the changes? Do you want to just mark this thing up? I want to get on the horn with my client.
Here. I have it right there.
Yeah, it only shows the one that you sent me from 11, but it's 11 this morning.
Do you have a wireless printer?
Yeah, but you have to connect to it. Your computer has to be linked. So I
Okay,
guess,
here, I'll email.
yeah, just email it to me and I can.
Do you do any corporate work, Mike?
I started off doing a fair amount of corporate work because it was 99, 2000. It's right before the crash. So if you had a pulse to read, you were doing corporate work. You mean M&A work and?
Yeah, yeah.
What's the email?
Kaylee, K-A-Y, K-A-Y-L-E-E, at Geragos. You want one or two copies?
Two, please.
So if you would send me that Tina's got that, just so I got the AP, and then I'll text you a time of first one. Yeah, I'll do it right now.
I gotta hand it to, I've got to hand it to Trump on one thing. And that is that he was one of the first people to identify and appreciate the power of Twitter as a platform.
Were you the second?
I wasn't the second, but I mean, I will say, I mean, it's a very powerful tool. It's, they used to be when you wanted to disseminate information to the press, you would have to, you'd have to have a press list, and you'd have to put together a press list and things of that nature. And when you reach a certain point, depending on who your followers are and the like, you don't have to do that. So, I mean, you have, not every, but he's got thousands of major journalists around the world that follow that account.
Right.
So he's able to communicate directly with the press at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
And it used to be that if you issued a press release, you would send it to your press list or you put it on the wire.
Right.
And then you would hope that the press would use a particular quote in the press release. But the beauty about Twitter is that especially when you reach a certain threshold in prominence, they just print your entire tweet.
Right. I understand the implication of what you're saying.
No, I'm really not implicating. I'm not, there is no implication. I mean, I've said this repeatedly publicly. I was just checking my Twitter and I had a couple messages about something, and so that's what caused me to look. I mean, that's not how I operate. If I wanted to send you a message, I would just tell you flat out. I mean, obviously, I use Twitter with success, and it's a good way to disseminate information. I mean, anybody.
I think it's gotten to the point where it would be basically journalistic malpractice not to follow newsmakers on Twitter? What journalist is going to ignore the tweets of?
But see, Trump figured out a long time ago that they'll print and show his entire tweet.
Right. Right.
So it's his way of conveying a message directly to his audience.
Sure.
Without having to have it watered down by the press or have them selectively quote from it. So. All right.
Okay.
Sorry for the delay on the print.
That's all right. I wouldn't let you watch me try to use technology either.
I'm glad that your wife's up
I
there.
appreciate that.
Good to see it.
So noon at our offices. Noon Monday, 55 Hudson Yards. We'll be there. 20 at the door. When you, seems like it's on the phone, we give out a tomorrow.
Yeah, if you have any questions, or you want to talk about anything, it probably would be prudent for us to do so before Monday, so that,
I agree.
all right, I mean, we should, you know, if we're going to do something, if we're not, that's fine, but it will cut down on anything that has to be discussed. But Oregon law, for instance, and things of that nature,
Okay.
I don't think that's the issue. I think it's an issue of dollars and cents.
An issue of okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Okay. Enjoy the day.
You too.
Mark?
Are we coming to you on Monday?
Yes, I've done this twice. I think we
Yeah,
can
but
wrap
this
this
is
up.
this is a very nice place though, isn't it?
I'm sure their office is
Very nice. Yeah, we'll see.
I'm late I'm going to have lunch with the Mooch.
I saw him this morning, didn't I?
He was on CNN.
Yeah, he was good actually.
Yeah, I heard him.
He's done something to his face. What has he done?
I don't know.
He's done like he's lasered his eyebrows and a little Botox or something.
We'll see you Monday at noon.
Okay, bye.